Hello everyone, this is part 8 of What If Naruto Had Two Bloodlines, and I hope you guys enjoy this video and to like, to subscribe, to share, and check out the playlist, to see more comment down below. Now let's start the intro.
They call me a god. They call me a god. They call me a god.
Join my membership, the perks are great. It's in the description. Be sure to like and subscribe, it gives me more motivation. Enjoy. Tazuna, it looks like this awful mist is finally starting to clear up. Sakura, I think that I can make out someone in the mist. It looks like there are two people over there. What are they doing? I can't tell which one is Kakashi-sen. All of a sudden, one of the figures began moving. Meanwhile, Naruto was charging full speed ahead, but he was still uncomfortable with the whole situation. To make it easier on himself, he closed his eyes and, splat. He opened his eyes to find himself on the pavement and Haku standing at his side. Naruto, what the hell was that? Haku, I'm sorry Naruto, I can't just yet. With that he disappeared in a whirlwind, leaving a more than confused Naruto to ponder what had just happened. Kakashi, however, knew exactly what was going on. He was finally going to put an end to this problem, starting with Kakashi, the boy. Kakashi had driven his attack right into Haku's chest. Blood from the wound splattered and sped everywhere. Kakashi didn't know how to react to this situation as it caught him completely off guard. Zabuza on the other hand. Zabuza, my future is death. Hey, looks like you're wrong again Kakashi. He reached for his sword and took a mighty swing. Fortunately for our favorite masked Junin, he was able to evade this attempt, even though Haku was using the last of his strength to hold him in place. Naruto had managed to make it in time to see this sight but still had no clue as to what exactly was going on. Kakashi, he jumped in the way to protect you, and you were willing to hack through him just to get to me. Zabuza, hey, I sure picked me up something useful. Giving me this chance. He was about to make one more attempt when Naruto, UNFORGIVEABLE. You jerk. Kakashi, Naruto, stay there, this is my fight. Zabuza, that's right runt, this is a matter between real ninja, but I'll deal with you when I'm done. Zabuza was going to go through with his assault, but for some reason, he couldn't seem to take his eye off Naruto and he didn't know why. His question would soon be answered. Naruto began to act in a peculiar way and then he stepped out in front of his sensei and Haku's corpse. Zabuza could almost see it clearly now, the reason why he found Naruto so intriguing at this point. He was exuding a huge amount of intent, the likes of which made even Zabuza, the demon of the mist, a little nervous. Naruto was starting to really freak him out, but he would put an end to that. Kakashi was going to intervene, but before he could, Naruto attacked. As they both got closer and closer, they reached for their weapons. Zabuza and his cleaver sword and Naruto reached for the staff on his back. Zabuza swung his weapon with all of his might in hopes of taking Naruto's head clean off. However, Naruto ducked this and thrusted his staff into Zabuza's abdomen, which was followed by a headbutt. Zabuza felt a sharp pain in his abdomen, but it didn't seem quite like that of the staff. He looked down and to his horror, the cause of the sensation was the headbutt, but something on Naruto's head had managed to through Zabuza's F. He finally came to the conclusion that it must have been some type of horn because of the manner that it was protruding from Naruto's head. He tried to create some distance between them, but Naruto would not allow it. Using his tail, Naruto tripped Zabuza, causing him to fall on his butt. Naruto took this chance to really lay into him with one good face-breaking punch. If Naruto had not been still holding onto him with his tail, he probably would have skipped across the pavement. Seeing as he didn't, Zabuza now laid there with blood running from his nose and mouth. It seemed like it was over, but Naruto had other plans. He wrapped Zabuza's leg firmly and flung him into the air. He then proceeded to make certain hand signs, the exact ones of Naruto, Dragon Wave. A beam of chakra blasted Zabuza into the air, up and over Kakashi and Haku. After being suspended in the air for a while, he finally came crashing down a short distance between Kakashi and Sakura. Sakura, is he? Zabuza laid there motionless, for a while. He then began to cough up blood and groaned in agony. Sakura, he's still alive. Speaking of alive, Naruto, where's Sasuke? Hearing Sakura's question, Naruto's expression changed from that of rage to that of someone who just lost the best friend. Not knowing what to say, he just shook his head and looked back where he came from. Sakura, no, you don't mean, placing her hand over her mouth. Tazuna, I'll go with you. This way you won't be breaking your sensei's order. Tears were starting to well up in Sakura's eyes. She couldn't even speak, so she just nodded and they were off to find Sasuke. They soon found him lying on the ground, motionless. Sakura couldn't believe her eyes, so she tried to feel for a pulse. Sakura, he's so cold, this can't be happening. This really isn't an illusion, is it? Tazuna, don't mind me, it's best to just let it all out and cry. Sakura, I always scored 100% on my tests. I managed to memorize over 100 shinobi rules. One such rule, no matter what situation, a shinobi must keep emotions on the inside. You must make the mission your top priority, and you must possess a heart which never shows tears. Sasuke, she began to cry. Naruto could hear Sakura's wailing from where he was standing, and he wanted to go comfort her, but Zabuza began to stir. He pulled himself into a sitting position and seemed to be laughing to himself. Zabuza, there's no way, this is over, I won't lose to you Kakashi, and I sure as hell won't lose to some brat, he choked out. Kakashi, give it up Zabuza, you're struggling to even get to your feet. You can't win in your current state. Zabuza looked at a less intimidating Naruto, whose horns were now gone along with his cur intent. This was as good a chance as any to get them all back, starting with Naruto. He grabbed his sword on the ground and lunged at him, ready for the swing of his life. Before he had the chance to follow through, however, Kakashi jammed a kunai in his arm. This caused Zabuza to drop his giant sword, but it didn't stop his wrath. He was livid. Zabuza groans. Damn you Kakashi. Damn you and that runt. Kakashi, it's your own doing. Now both arms are useless. You can't even perform a seal. Zabuza stood there with a kunai in one arm and his entire other side had been scorched by Naruto's chakra attack. It was a hopeless cause. That's when reinforcements arrived. Gatu, oh my, it looks like you're getting beaten all over again. How disappointing, Zabuza. Zabuza, Gatu, what the hell are you doing here? And what's with all these men? Gatu, the plan has changed. Well actually, I planned to do this from the beginning. ... Zabuza, I'm going to have you ked here. I never planned on paying you any money. Hiring a normal ninja from a village is expensive and they may betray me, so I get you missing nins who are easy to take care of afterwards. I simply have the ninjas battle each other and KM off using numbers once they're weakened enough. This way it doesn't cost me anything. Good plan, right? The only problem was you Zabuza, the devil of the hidden mist. What a joke. You're just a cute little baby devil. Zabuza, Kakashi, I'm sorry, this fight is over. Now that I have no reason to go after Tazuna, I have no reason to fight you. Kakashi, it looks like you're right. Naruto looked like he was confused, but he didn't speak up. He didn't really care because Zabuza wouldn't be fighting with him anymore. Besides, he probably couldn't put up much of one anymore. Gatu came upon the corpse of Haku. He looked as if he were resting peacefully. Gatu would change that. Still angry about the mere thought that a piece of garbage like him would even think of putting his hands on a man of Gator's stature, he gave him a good kick across the face. Naruto, heeey. What the hell are you doing, you bastard? Naruto ran after the disrespectful Gatu as he ran for his hired guns. Naruto would have kept after him if Kakashi hadn't grabbed a hold of him. Kakashi, hey, look at their numbers, don't just jump in. Naruto, I don't care, I'll make him pay and anyone that gets in my way will be sorry. Hey, Zabuza, don't just stand there, you say something too. Weren't you friends? Zabuza, shut up kid, Haku's already S anyway. Naruto, what are you saying? Did I knock the sense out of you with that beating I dished out? Don't you feel anything at all? Weren't you two always together? Zabuza, as I was used by Gatu, I used Haku. That's all it was. I've said it already, in the world of shinobi, there are only those who use and those who are used. We shinobi are simply tools. What I wanted was his blood, not him. I have no regrets. Naruto, you can't really mean that. Naruto shrugged away from Kakashi and approached Zabuza. All the while, Kakashi was trying to get him to avoid another scuffle with him. Naruto, I'm sure you know just as well as I do, he really loved you. You were the most precious person to him. Do really feel nothing. If I become as strong as you, will I become like you? I hope not. He threw away his life for you. Without a dream of his own, to say all, that's just too sad. Tears were now streaming from Naruto's eyes like a great waterway. It was just too much for him. He knew that he wasn't supposed to show any emotion, but it couldn't be helped. Zabuza, kid, you don't need to say any more. Zabuza turned to face Naruto. It was shocking to actually see the demon of the mist shed a tear over his fallen comrade. Still holding back, he continued. Zabuza, kid, it pained him to have to fight you. He fought not only for me, he fought for you guys too. He was too kind. I'm glad I got to face you guys in the end. You may be right, kid. A shinobi is still a human. We may not be able to become emotionless tools. I've lost. Hey kid, let me borrow your kunai. Naruto was unsure of what he would do with the kunai, seeing as he no longer had the use of his arms. He was also confused by the fact that Zabuza was now chewing the bandages wrapped around his mouth. Naruto tossed the weapon of choice to Zabuza, who caught the handle in his mouth and ran right at Gatu. This surprised everyone as it was either a really brave and courageous, or suicidal attempt. Gatu, fearing for his life, retreated into the crowd of hired goons in hopes that he would now be well protected from the attacking maniac. Gatu, don't just stand there, K them all. The mob shouted in agreement, thinking that it would be a piece of cake. They were wrong, however. Zabuza ran past most of the hired thugs, slashing and cutting through them as he went. Finally making it through the appetizers, Zabuza saw the main course. Before Gatu had any chance to react, he was run through. Zabuza impaled the kunai in his body and disturbingly made a deep and slow incision. Zabuza, unfortunately, I don't plan on going to the same place as Haku. You and I together are going to hell. It was over for Gatu as he fell into the ocean bleeding heavily. If he was not he would be soon as sharks began to encircle him. Zabuza's satisfaction would not be long-lived though, as countless cowardly thugs took their shots while his back was turned. Literally stabbing him in the back, they expected him to drop immediately. This was not the case. Zabuza turned around looking as if he was unfazed by the previous assault and just walked back through the crowd. Zabuza, this is goodbye Haku, thank you for everything, I'm sorry. He made it out of the crowd of frightened goons on his way to Haku, but he dropped to the ground before he could reach him. Kakashi, the end of a man who lived a difficult life. Sakura was still crying over the loss of her love. This was the most horrible time of her entire life. Sasuke, Is that, Sakura? Am I? He then opened his eyes to see a crying Sakura. Nonchalantly, he told her that she was hurting him. She didn't know what to do. She started crying even more uncontrollably. She was so happy that her Sasuke was alright. Without any real thought, she soon began to hug him tight. She didn't want to let him go, ever. Tazuna, that's great, Sakura. Before giving his body a chance to recover, Sasuke asked about Naruto and the masked kid, all while trying to pick himself up. Sakura, don't move. Naruto is fine and the masked kid is He tried to protect Zabuza and was killed by Kakashi-sensei. I had faith in you. It's impressive that you prevented attacks to your critical areas. Sasuke, no, from the beginning, Sakura, Naruto. He's alright. Sasuke's alive. Naruto turned around to see Sasuke as good as, well, better than he thought he was. This brought a smile to his face, realizing why that was. He remembered how Zabuza had said how Haku didn't really want to fight them. Kakashi, I've been worried, but it looks as if Sasuke is also alright, that's great. Their attention was then grabbed by the mob of goons Gatu had hired. They were clearly upset that the meal ticket was now To make up for this, they decided to kill the ninjas responsible and pillage and plunder the village. Convinced that this would work, the thugs charged. Naruto, like I'm gonna let that happen. I'll wipe you all out. Kakashi-sensei, I'll take it from here. Kakashi could see that Naruto was beginning to transform. His horns began to protrude from his head and his monkey-like tail turned into that of a lizard's. Kakashi, Don't go overboard with it, Naruto. There'd be no point of them having to start all over on the bridge. Got it. Naruto, gotcha. Continuing his transformation, Naruto's form began to grow, change, and shift. His eyes turned from blue to gold, and his skin started to become black and scaly as wings grew from his back, spinning out from his clothes. When the transformation was complete, he stood about 10 feet tall on all fours and about the same lengthwise. It had razor-sharp claws, 4 on its hands, 2 and 1 sickle-like claw on each foot. Kakashi, his clothes, they must be made from a special material, otherwise he'd just right out of them. That probably wouldn't be too grand a sight. Hey, a dragon in pants and a hoose, you don't see that every day. The mob of goons soon began to turn pale at the sight of this vicious beast that, in the worst-case scenario, could possibly tear them to ribbons with a single swipe of its claw. Do you think that it breathes fire? One of the thugs questioned. No way, that's just a myth, one of the others answered. Aren't dragons supposed to be a myth? One responded. Myth or not, the only thing I'm worried about is getting out of here, came another goon. Naruto stood on his hind legs, stretched his wings, and let out a blood-curdling, hissing like roar to which every thug turned tail and ran for their lives. Naruto charged after them and was soon in flight after a few steps. He flew overhead with the sheer force knocking over many of the thugs before he made a round TS. As he penetrated the mob, he thrashed about, sending many soaring through the air and into the water below until there were none left. His work done, Naruto reverted back to his normal state. Sakura, what was that? I always knew Naruto was an animal, but I didn't know that he really was an animal. A giant monstrous lizard nonetheless, things just get more and more confusing. Sasuke, he had that kind of power all along. A dragon. Just then, another mob showed up on the scene. It was Inari and the citizens of the country. They had come to lend a helping hand, but it appeared to be too late. The thugs were gone, Gatu was nowhere to be found, and the monstrous flying lizard had vanished. A hero shows up at the last second, right? It looks like our work here is done, he stated. Naruto, I'm glad, but you didn't do anything. As Naruto and Inari argued about the matter of usefulness the citizens' mob was, Kakashi walked over to where Zabuza laid. Zabuza, it looks like it's over, Kakashi. Hey, I had no idea that kid was so strong. It all makes sense now, why he gave us such a hard time. Kakashi, oh, did I forget to mention that? Well, not that it really matters because I believe that it's his determination, not his bloodline, that is his strongest suit. Zabuza, is that so? Kakashi, I have a request, I want to see his face. Kakashi, of course. As Kakashi helped Zabuza, it began to snow. This put a stop Naruto and Inari's argument, at least for the time being. Zabuza, Haku, are you crying? Zabuza thanked Kakashi as he placed him next to Haku. Zabuza, Haku, you have always been by my side, I'd like to be by your side at the end, if I could, I'd like to go to the same place as you. The snow continued to fall. One flake landed on Haku's face, melted, and appeared as though Haku was crying. Naruto, he was born in a snowy village. Kakashi, I see, he was a boy as pure as the snow. 2 weeks later, Team 7 was paying their respects at Zabuza and Haku's graves before they left for home. Sakura, Kakashi-sensei, were these two right about ninjas? Kakashi, a shinobi isn't supposed to pursue his own goals, becoming the country's tool is most important, that's the same for Konoha. Naruto, is that what it really means to be a true ninja? You know what, I don't like it. Sasuke, you believe that too. Looking at Kakashi. Kakashi, well, each and every ninja has to live while dealing with that issue, just like Zabuza, and the boy. Naruto, okay, I've decided. I'm going to be a ninja in my own way. It was quiet for a little while. The only real reaction to Naruto's vow was Kakashi smiling through his mask. As the Konoha shinobi prepared to depart, they were thanked for their help. Then they were off. Tazuna, that boy changed Inari's heart, and Inari changed the people's hearts, he gave us a bridge to hope, called courage. Sue, how about we name the bridge, the Great Naruto Bridge? Our heroes finally head for home. What more do they have to look forward to? X. That will be all for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment down below for more videos. Goodbye.